everybody, happy Monday morning. I hope everybody had a fabulous weekend. I did. I hope you did too. We have a lot to unpack today. Let's jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start off today with Princess Anne, the hardest working royal as far as I'm concerned and everybody else. She went to visit the Cromer National Coast Watch Institution. It was their 30th anniversary. She is the patron of this particular charity, and the Coast Watch Institute has 5 stations along the Norfolk coast. So she visited the one that's located on Beach Road, East Runton. She met with the Lord Lieutenant of Norfolk, Lady Dannet, and the charity's volunteers. For those who might be slightly interested, she did arrive by helicopter. She then took a tour around the station's watch room. She learned all about the life-saving work of the volunteer watchkeepers there. And then later on in the evening, she went to a reception at the Clifton Hotel where she met the station managers and volunteers across East Anglia. I just think that's wonderful. All right, moving on. Next up, let's talk to King Charles. We know that on Friday he was admitted to the hospital for his scheduled prostate operation. I thought it was really sweet that Queen Camilla went with him. Usually that doesn't happen, they're saying, but she did go with him. And we also know, very sweet of the king, that before he went in for his surgery, he popped into Catherine's room to check on her as well. I believe that that is a testament to what a good relationship they have. Now, the Queen stayed until the procedure was over, and then he's going to be in the hospital for 1 to 2 days, and she was seen leaving. Looked very relaxed. So obviously things went well. A big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for letting us know what she was wearing. I loved her in blue, by the way. I thought she looked great. And of course, she went back later on during tea time to visit him again. So it's twice in a day. And I think that just shows the affection between them. Now, just like any dutiful wife, she then went back the next day and visited him again right before he spent the night for a second time in the hospital. Very nice to see her coming and going. All right, moving on. You have to know they're running out of things to write about when they come up with stories like this. Andrew left his home right after the king was admitted, and he showed no emotion as he was driving his car. Really? Moving on. We're going to go back now to Prince Edward. He's finishing up his tour, or he's already finished it, but he was in St. Helena, and he toured Longwood House. This was the house where Napoleon lived when he was in exile. And then he signed the visitor log, which, by the way, had the name of his mother and his grandfather on it. Oh, love that. Now, also, at some point on his last day, these may not be in the right order, the Duke of Edinburgh went to SHAPE, S-H-A-P-E. It is a local social group, and they give training and job opportunities for disabled and vulnerable adults. I love that. And as his final engagement, Edward went to open the new St. Helena Airport. Remember, he's the first member of the royal family to arrive by plane. So he did a good job as usual. And before he left, he stopped and spoke with a little boy named Eli Thomas. He was the very first medical air evacuation from the island, which occurred in 2016. And a big thank you to Sarah's Secret on Twitter for these pictures. The first one is Queen Elizabeth with Margaret in 1947, Prince Philip in 1957, and the Duke of Edinburgh in 2024. Amazing. Just as an FYI, Edward also was taken out on the water and spotted a whale. How cool is that? Moving on to Harry and Meghan, I just wanted to touch on this article because the Spotify deal that was canceled because they didn't meet metrics and they were called effing grifters and the blame went back and forth. They have yet to remove that deal from their website, which I find interesting because they removed the 6-part docuseries that they're being sued over by Samantha Markle. They removed that from their website, but not Spotify. Let's go back now to the whole Bob Marley movie and, Jamaica. When Harry and Meghan were actually taken into the theater to go to their seats, you could literally see the shock on their faces because all of the other A-listers were in the front row. Just like you see, William and Catherine and people in the front row at these movie premieres. Well, These two people were walked in and shown their seats, which were several rows back. And I love what these two Twitter people put up. First of all, this person wrote that he suddenly realizes this is his life now, like movie premieres and whatever. And the British Prince pointed out that this is the same vibe we've seen Prince Harry having before. We've seen that face of thunder when he was at his very last royal engagement, and he had been taken out of the procession, and he threw a hissy fit, and you could tell he was upset with Meghan. We saw this face when he did the Nelson Mandela talk, and we all saw what happened there. And then here's the face as he's being led to his seat. Yep. Meghan Markle walks in this voluminous ball gown, massively overdressed for the occasion, and she has to sit in a flip-down seat in the auditorium like everybody else. Now, the look on Harry's face was priceless. Here we go. The two of them walk in, realize, look at Harry's face, realize where they're going to sit. Then Harry looks forward and realizes all the other VIPs are forward, and Meghan's and Harry are in the back. Harry looks most upset about it. Now, there were two really gorgeous women who took an Instagram video and put it up saying that they were not soaking up the royals' energy from a few feet away. And yeah, when I looked at it, I was like, wait a minute, it's not them. I agree with SueSmithAKALongsally. Look at the little girl and her mother taking the video. I don't think the little girl was impressed that Harry and Meghan were sitting behind her. I think there was a fight going on. I think Harry and Meghan were fighting. I think they were able to, the mother and the daughter were able to hear what was being said, because even the mother looked most unimpressed by what was happening. So let's zoom in on that. Harry sits down, says something to Meghan, and then gets up and walks out. Now, we know at some point he came back, but he was obviously upset. Rumor mill has it that they're trying to get a new streaming deal, that they were invited to Jamaica by his family, who are quote unquote personal friends. This is what they're putting out in the tabloids now. And it's being said that the friendship is probably because Harry and Meghan are looking for new forms of income, because their Netflix deal is getting ready to go and their Spotify's already been canceled. They don't even seem to care that Comedy Central is the one that put out that South Park episode that totally made fun of them. They're still willing to go work with that group. But there's a catch. Here we go. The CEO of Paramount Global, his name is Bob Bakish, announced on Thursday that Paramount is going to undergo layoffs, that they're trying to become a quote unquote leaner company that spends less. Yep, they're going to try to manage their costs to drive earnings. Now, he made a statement that really got me. He said that Paramount is going to focus on its most powerful resonant franchises, films, and series, but they're going to concentrate on what we can control, which is execution, which we all know that's the thing that Harry and Meghan can't control. They can't execute any of their plans. As SueSmithAKALongsally pointed out on Twitter, Paramount Pictures falls under Paramount Global. So if they're looking for some big deal like they got with Netflix, that's not going to happen. So Neil Sean just did a video where he basically said that Harry and Meghan, we know that everywhere they go, they have the cameras taping them. When they were in Harlem, they were taping. When they went to the World Trade Center and she wore her diamond pinky ring, they were taping them. Everywhere they go, they're taping. And when they went to this premiere, they also were taped. And according to Neil Sean, they think they have a really good docu-series going. And if Netflix, this is supposed to make up for Netflix lack of content. And basically they're saying that if Netflix won't take it, they're going to give it to somebody else. So they're saying that they think they have something great. And if Netflix won't take it, then they're going to give it to the highest bidder. But at the same time, don't hold your breath. You guys know what I'm saying. Listen, essentially, they're giving Netflix a warning. Now, they're the only people I know that could sign a contract for millions upon millions, produce nothing, and then feel that they have to give a warning to that streaming network. Right. Now remember, when Megan was the +1 at that variety event, she went on the red carpet and said, "We have so many exciting things on the slate. I can't wait to announce them, but I'm really proud of what we're creating." I think it's more that they went to that event to give Netflix basically the finger because they inserted themselves into the photo with the Paramount CEO. So here the two of them have only done their docuseries and Invictus, and that's it. They've already lost Spotify, and I think the comment to them is, be careful because somebody else will want us. But I got to be honest, I don't think they do. Okay, now to end this, I want to show you guys something that I showed on my Patreon the other day. I just think it's so interesting when you look at it. You know that Harry gets pulled around by the arm by Megan. And he's trying to turn around to say something, and Megan won't let him. And I noticed that she has a move that she does that I think reminds Harry of his mother, if that makes sense. She doesn't want Harry to stop walking, and this is a move that she does to, well, you'll see in just a second. And she wants to gain control is she takes her hand, she puts it on his arm, she runs her hand down his arm, grabs his hand, and off they go. That's how she gets control of him. We saw this here during the Invictus games. So here we go. She's ready to leave, so she runs her hand, she touches his back, runs her hand down his arm, grabs his hand, and starts to pull him away. We saw the same thing at the Intrepid Awards. She ran her hand down his arm, tried to pull him. She goes, "Shall we?" And Harry lets go. And actually, she tries to gain control by running her hand down his arm again. But he, to his credit, steps away. And then she did it again at the movie premiere. She needed to gain control of him. So she put her hand on his chest and then on his arm, ran it down his arm, and then grabbed his hand. That's a move I think his mother used to do, as disgusting as that is. All right, guys, you know what to do. Hit that button, that subscribe button. Don't forget to double check if you've already hit the button. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave those comments below. Make them good. If you have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. Don't forget the links to Patreon and my father's book are down in the description box. And as always, you guys, have a great day.